You are listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer. Chitra Iyer is a parent of 25-year-old Shravan Iyer who has epilepsy, cerebral palsy and autism. She is the CEO of MFA and has been helping families with life-centered planning to reach their personal financial goals. She is also a trustee of a parent support group, the Forum for Autism, which was set up almost 2 decades ago. MFA is an 18-year-old organization in the personal finance space. They have set up a dedicated practice to help families with special needs children to plan their financial goals and invest for them. The thoughts shared here are a result of the discussion with parents, caregivers, siblings, and professionals regarding the planning of a person with special needs.
Hello, everyone. A big warm welcome to you on this expert series of my podcast for special needs children. Thank you for all of your time to tune in and listen into this podcast. In this episode, we have with us Ms. Shaloo Sharma. Hi, Shaloo.
Hi, Chitra. Thanks for having me here.
I'm really looking forward to our chat, Shaloo, and I'm really honored that you have joined in on the podcast. To formally introduce you to the listeners, Ms. Shaloo Sharma is the founder of Evoluer Solutions. She is an experienced consultant, educator, life skills trainer, and a design professional with over 25 years of experience, most of which has been dedicated to designing and delivering programs for persons with diverse needs. She works with key stakeholders, parents, enterprise, and educational organizations to help develop their inclusive practices. She designs, develops, and delivers life skills and career training programs and works with corporate and industry to help train and hire persons with diverse needs. She has traveled extensively across the globe to deliver training programs related to mental health. Looking forward to our chat. And here's the first question coming straight up to you, Shaloo. Shall we begin?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So can you please share with us your journey and how you became passionate about designing and delivering programs, especially for persons with diverse needs, Shaloo?
So, I think that rather than me finding this field, the field just found me. And in the end, it was all the little bits of training and experiences and competencies that I had that just very beautifully came together for me to be able to work in this field. So I've been a student of psychology, and I've been a student of fine arts, and I think one of my areas of comfort has always been to be with people, and I love to talk, and it's great to have an audience that listens to me. And so I think most of what I do is from my own life experiences, and very happy ones at that. So, as I tell everybody, that special education is not anything but just good, sensible education. And we know that teaching always stems from our own life experiences. So, like I said, I think the field just found me. And then after that, it has been a very deliberate career choice for me.
Super. So, continuing as the founder of Evoluer Solutions, could you tell us more about your organization's mission and the services that it provides? Could you elaborate, please?
So, we primarily, Evoluer focuses on getting young people, young adults, and adults with diverse needs ready for mainstream inclusion. We are not a typical a non-profit where we work towards just sheltered vocational training, but the whole focus is on mainstreaming. And keeping that in mind, we are trying to equip our students with the emotional intelligence as well as the industry skills, as well as very specific core competencies that get them ready for jobs in open workspaces that are sensitive and inclusive. I think we are seeing a large shift in the vocabulary that we, particularly, and others who come within our circle of influence have started using very consciously. So, moving away from exclusion, moving away from special need jobs, just to have something easier and more sensible, which is inclusion. I feel it is the need of the day. So that is what we focus on. A large part of what we do is soft skills training, because we truly believe that no matter what area of work you choose, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you want to be a stay at home person and look after your family, whether you want to be an artist, whether you want to study for a longer time, no matter what you want to do, you do need those soft skills to navigate life more comfortably. So we focus a lot on soft skills. We focus a lot on self management skills. And yes, a bit of what we do is also industry specific skills.
So, who are the kind of organizations, or what are the kind of organizations who wish to hire you? Who are the kind of adults whom you're catering this service to? Can you please share?
Sure. So I do believe that everybody can work anywhere, really. It's just a matter of finding the fit. But the areas where we have had most success are the hospitality. So we are looking at all the various pockets that come under the umbrella of hospitality, housekeeping, food and beverage, also front office, back office, finance. And when the training is possible, then we're looking at the kitchens as well. Another area is retail. We've just recently started dabbling with e-commerce, and hugely we have seen success. We've just had 12 of our boys and girls start interning at Amazon. IT is a large part of what we do, and within IT we are looking at data interpretation. It's no longer data entry. I mean, nobody needs you to just copy from hard to soft. There are apps that do that. Sadly, humans are not really effectively needed anymore. So we are looking at data interpretation, we are looking at coding, we're looking at graphic designing, we're looking at managing the admin panel for apps, we are looking at web designing, and we are looking at resource building, which essentially comes under back office operations. For our girls, where we do have parents who are concerned about the safety aspects and not wanting to send them in the big bad world of corporates, um, we are then looking at associate teacher training as well. Another area where we've had a lot of success is office admin, whether it is managing the IT in an office or whether it is managing the actual office space. We've had a fair amount of success. So these are the areas where things have worked out really well for us. When you ask about the kind of students we take in, because of the nature of inclusion that we are looking at, the only students that we do not take in currently, or we are not equipped currently to take in, are students who are physically fragile or whose needs we cannot cater to. We don't immediately take those students into our employability skills program, right? Because we feel that they still need a bit of self management before they can go into large open
Of course,
spaces for their
other
safety.
spaces. Yeah,
Yes,
correct.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we do take in students who we feel, to the best of our knowledge, at the entry level, where I see an exit plan for them. So if I do not see an exit plan in the next couple of years for a student, then I usually redirect them to those organizations who are better equipped to handle than I currently am.
awesome. It might take a couple of months or a couple of weeks in terms of training both the corporates as well as the students. How does the
So for
program
the
work?
students, yeah, for the students, we have two programs. We have a pre-employability program and we have an employability program. Essentially, the difference between these two programs is twofold. One, of course, is the age, because all of our employability skills students ultimately go on to do internships. So they have to be over 18. An organization will not take interns before they are officially adults. So that is the
Right.
first criteria. The second criteria is that in a pre-employability program, we are still focusing on a bit of traditional academics. We are still looking at numeracy and literacy and a bit of reading, writing going on till we have time. Once the students step into the employability program, it just shifts to the next level of readiness. So it moves on from, you know, navigating school to navigating the office. It moves on from how to get along with your friends to how to get along with your colleagues, from how to perform while giving written or oral, quizzes, to how to take and give feedback, from your personal grooming and hygiene to now how to dress up for work. So it shifts away from your desktop, if I can say that, those kind of activities, to actual real life scenarios. And yes, it does take a couple of years before people get ready. However, I've had young people who've come to me at say 35, and then within 4 months I know that they are ready, and there is an opportunity that has opened up, so I'm not going to wait for the next 1.5 year before I can move them. And then we just fast track them and say, here's your certificate, you're done, and let's get you into an office space.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah. Moving on, with over 25 years of experience in this field now, what are some of the most significant changes or developments that you've witnessed in terms of inclusive practices? Also, if you can touch upon some, cases where you had to face a lot of challenge, it would be really nice.
There has been a huge shift in the inclusive practices that larger organizations are opening up, right? And for me, the torch bearers have always been those people who started this years ago. And I always say that you need one giant to take the plunge for others to follow. And so, if you have one large, reputed, recognized hotel chain take students and everybody follows. So I think the shift has been in moving from sheltered workshops and making handicrafts to now actually larger organizations taking up. I also really appreciate how it's moved from a sympathy based model to a business model. I also like the way the vocabulary has been changing. As if we look at years ago, the kind of detrimental terminology that was used for whatever reason. So we've moved from, and I'm sorry to use that word, I cringe when I say it, from mental retardation to then disability to diverse need, special need, neurodiversity. So, the vocabulary has changed. And that is what is so delightful to see. When I'm looking at the challenges, I can just very happily say that there haven't really been many challenges, because whichever organizations that we've gone to with our vision, they've come more than halfway, and they have been enthusiastic and said, yes, tell us what do we need to do, etc. You also asked another question, Chitra, which I don't want to skip, is how long does it take for an organization to be ready? I think the minute the organization shows the intent that, hey, we want to take in people with diverse needs, I think they are ready. Then it depends on the workshops and the training and the sensitivity training that you give to them. Few years back, and this was during COVID, we did a project with Microsoft where they took in 10 of our young people with autism into their mentorship program. And it was fantastic how, right from the word go, they were ready. And then they got in their top leaders to attend programs, and we had like almost like a 20-hour sensitivity program with them. So the readiness comes, the day you decide that, yes, why are we not doing this? It's really simple after that.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yep.
for me, and this is of course my personal opinion, the more, I don't know which other word to use, so I'll use the word high functioning, because a lot of the people in the audience do understand the word high functioning. The more high functioning the student it is, the more challenging it is,
Mm.
because there are no limits to what they can do. There are no limits to how they perceive themselves, and they are such fierce self advocates that you put one step wrong and they will catch it, right? And for me, the biggest fear in my mind always is that, what if I could do something and I missed it? What if this could be done too and I didn't try it? So the challenge always is from those young people who have the most traditional potential, if I can say that. Yeah, so that's where the challenge comes in. It's not with students who you feel apparently that this is what they can and cannot do.
Very true. Really. I totally understand where you're coming from and what you're saying.
Mhm.
So, mental health is an important aspect of your work. And how do you address these concerns within the programs and training that you provide?
So counseling is an inbuilt, a very essential part of what we do. A lot of times, parents and educators are so caught up in the cognition and the ABCs and the one, two, threes and the OTs and the speech and the physios. There's so much going on there that you forget that they need counseling as well, right? So counseling is something that all of our young people get because most of them have either been through adolescence or are going through it, and they're looking at what's going on around them, and what they really need more than anything else is for somebody to listen. So we do have a large part of our staff are trained guide counselors. They are trained with psychology background or with guidance and counseling background. um, One of my strengths is art. So that's what I've trained in and then gone on to do expressive art therapy. So a large part of the curriculum that we do also has expressive art therapy. So we do use a lot of music and dance and movement and visual arts and theater and drama to promote mental well being. Also, a large part of the subjects that we teach are very non tangible. I mean, you can't say, oh, okay, this is a chapter on self confidence and you learn this and you'll become self confident. It doesn't work like that. So, for example, if you're doing workplace readiness, and we are doing bullying, so I cannot have these are the five things or five sums on bullying. So a lot of the stuff that we do is non tangible and is delivered through theater or role plays or scenarios or talking. So mental health just becomes very inbuilt, ingrained into our curriculum. And of course, we work largely with families. Oh my God, how much of our time is dedicated to working with families? Because there are times when they just see their son or their daughter as somebody with a diagnosis and miss out that they are young people who are looking at other young people around them and are probably questioning um, the hand that they have been dealt.
Really, how true. Um, you know, Again, asking you, as someone who's traveled so much, so extensively, you've been delivering a lot of training programs related to mental health. Could you share some insights or any lessons that you learned from your global experiences?
Yes, I will share, the areas where I feel that we can do better and the areas where I feel we are better. So I will, the good things first. Whereas the family support is concerned, I think we are in a very, very good space, right? We have our daily necessities taken care of. We have uncles and aunts and grandparents and cousins. It's so fantastic. We also have our tried and tested, religious practices that do help us to calm down. And there's so much of scientific insight into the, the theories and practices that every home follows. So I love that. Then our food, when we are looking at the kind of fresh food that is available, which is so essential to our physical well-being. All this gluten free and dairy free and all this has come from the west, but here we actually have access to fresh healthy food every day. We have ayurveda. All these things are fantastic, whereas the Indian culture is concerned. I also feel that uh, the family support and the religion does allow the parents to center themselves. So that is wonderful about where we are right now in this country. I do, however, feel that the government should provide some world class services which are not available. And it is generic for education, it's not just for special ed. So, any good thing that is happening is in the private sector. I'll rephrase, sorry, most of the good things that are happening are in the private sectors. And I wish that that was not the case because it is not affordable. I also wish insurance covered therapies because good therapies are expensive, because to become a good therapist, you have to put in a lot of effort and time and money to get yourself trained. You've probably gone overseas to get yourself trained. And so, obviously, you want returns for what you have invested in upgrading yourself. So, I do wish that there was some way that it was covered under insurance. I know that overseas, everything is taken care of by insurance. Then we will not have our best therapists just move overseas, um, because here is a field where we need professionals, and professionals rightfully deserve to earn the money. So I wish that we moved seriously moved away from a charity model to a more business model. That's why it's working for corporates, and that's how it should be. That is one. What I've also learned is that the stigma is still very, very prevalent in India. And I wish parents were more joyful. I absolutely understand why it is so difficult to be joyful when you're being judged and when it's draining on your income. So I think if we fix one, we'll fix the other. So those are the things that I feel can be changed. And the same is for resources. I wish schools and colleges had better resources. Our curriculum is so sadly defunct. We are teaching skills that are no longer relevant. We are stuck in God knows what age where vocational training is concerned. And our young people are very smart. They are on Insta. They're looking at what's happening all over the world. So I really wish we had more fun built into our curriculum. I work with young people who are 17, 18 and above, and we do talk about dating. We do talk about dressing up and going out dancing and hanging with the opposite gender. And these things are not touched upon by most organizations. We are still so caught in just the reading, writing, and the therapeutic aspect that we forget that what a young person who is 18, 20, what he or she really thrives on is being the center of attraction of the opposite gender. I mean, I'm over 50. I still thrive on that. We all do, it's so natural. So I wish we normalize being neurodiverse and give our young people access to what other young people globally have. I mean, let's bring some fun, some joyousness, some naughtiness, some masti, some badmashi back into our day-to-day interaction with them. And for me, if I if I see that the students are scheming and they're up to no good, it thrills me. That's what we want. That's where your negotiation and problem solving and your trickery comes into place. And that's what I think we need to bring back into education and training. And yes, all this is my opinion. I don't want to be outcasted by.
Not at all. I think what you said was fabulous. It was very nice, and I don't think you will be an outcast at all. You said it so well. In fact, before going to the close of the podcast, I just wanted to ask you on one subject of yours, or quite a large part of your life, which is art. Right? You weaved it in so beautifully, and you've done so much in the space of art. Can you please share a bit about that also?
So, what I would like to share is that I have been really blessed to find what comes naturally to me and what is my natural language and my nature, which is visual art, right? And then how do I translate my visual art into a skill that is needed? And so I'm a master's in fine arts. I've never been able to sell a single painting of mine because I'm a great artist. I truly believe so. I'm really gifted, but I'm a very bad salesperson. So, have I been able to change my competency, my natural language, and so called gift from God into something that generates revenue? Yes, I have. I went on to do art therapy. And that's what I tell the parents, that change the natural gift or the natural competency that your son or daughter has into something which is revenue generating, means, or demand supply. That's what you need to look at. So I still refer to myself as an artist. If somebody says, "Hey, so what do you do?" I'll say, I paint, but I teach. Yeah, so to have the difference between what your passion is and what you do for a living. So that is my two bit about art. And yes, art is has really helped me in understanding the field of neurodiversity, because art does not have a language. It doesn't have a script. It's not numerical. It's not, an alphabet. There is no right or wrong. It is a way of expressing, and everybody, I feel, even who can breathe, uh, can do art in any such way. So art has been such a blessing, and I have bonded with so many of my students through art. And I'll give you one example. This was last week. I was in a corporate engagement program in Goa, where I took one of my young students with me, who I've known for, I think, 10 years, and he's a fabulous artist. He does these very, very intricate mandalas, and he that's what he does to calm himself down. And he's very possessive about his art material. He just forts himself off with his art material. And I remember we were sitting in the hotel lobby, we were waiting for our turn to be called in, and I was getting a little antsy, and he was focused on his mandala, and I was doodling on my little notepad, and he was coloring his mandala. And after 5 minutes, he very gently just slipped two of his pens, just slid them over towards my side. And for me, that was like such a wow moment. That, yay, sharing art material. So those are the kind of Yahoo moments that I thrive on. That's where bonding happens over art. So yes, art is just so entwined with what I do. It's my language of love and expression and teaching and learning.
I have heard about your classes, your courses, and what you do with art is fabulous. And thank you so much that you thought of entwining that with everything that you do. I'm coming to the last question, Chalu. As someone deeply involved in the field, what are the three essential changes you envision for better support and services for our individuals with disabilities in India?
At the first, I would begin with the education system. I think it needs a serious shaking up, and we need to get over our old modules and curriculums and syllabuses and look at what is happening globally. I also feel that we need to build in special education in the B.Ed programs. Um, exactly like when you're teaching somebody, you teach about girls and boys both. You don't have bio class just for boys, you teach about girls as well. And I'm sure years ago it must just have been the man's anatomy. So things are changing, so we need to start from the education system, so that our special educators and therapists and teachers and psychologists and counselors are all trained to deal with everybody. That is the first. Second, like I said, the resources. We need to have some kind of a government support or insurance support for all parents to be able to afford world class services. We need to have our young people who are training to be educators and therapists to travel overseas or bring people from overseas. I don't know how we are going to do that, because it is phenomenal the kind of work that is going on all over the world. And we have the hard work, we have the wherewithal, we have the sensibilities, we have the support to create such world class educators. So why are we not going there? We also need to have people with neurodiversity in areas of prominence. We need to see them in roles, we need to see them in malls, we need to see them in dance parties, we need to see them socializing, we need to see them dressed up and having fun and doing masti, to demystify what neurodiversity is all about. We need to see them out there. I see accessible spaces everywhere now. Where are the people who are wheelchairs users? I don't see them anywhere. So what's going on with that? Where are our people with neurodiversity? Why are they not visible? And why are they not in um, places where we can see them, places of prominence or roles of prominence? So we need to see that uh, for them to be role models. We also need to have, um, I don't know what word to use. We need to make it fun for parents. Parent support group shouldn't be just about exchanging notes on therapies. And I don't claim to understand just how difficult it may be to have a person with a diagnosis in your family. But yes, we need to provide spaces where parents can let their hair down, and we need to build stronger communities. For example, if I need to go drinking with my friends, I should have a place that I can leave my son or daughter with. So we need to have stronger communities for that. Now, another thing that is one of a big peeve with me is, why are residential places in back and beyond out of the city? Why don't we normalize this? Why are residential spaces in the middle of nowhere? Why can't we have residential fun hostels in the middle of the city, in societies? I don't know how to say it, but this ostracizing really bothers me. And again, it's my personal opinion. People can choose to agree with me or not. But when we are talking at inclusion, when we are looking at inclusion, we are talking about community inclusion as well. So can somebody just think about that as well? Uh, so those are the things where I feel changes need to be made. And yes, we have to open up our minds about the kind of jobs, the kind of work, the kind of vocation that everybody can do. Can we make everybody more tech savvy? How can a young person not have access to the internet? How can they not know how to operate the phone? How can they not know what a dating app is? How can they not shop online? So let's just build a digital knowledge. It's equally important, if not more, than writing. Those are my thoughts.
Absolutely fabulous. Wow. You said so many things, and I think every single word was absolutely apt and right bang on there. Um, I can only, kind of try to wrap up the whole thing, and I don't know if I'll do justice, but I just hope that everybody generally listens to you and takes takes away a lot, or at least even a little bit of what you said. It would be great, right? So I'm going to attempt this. Um, Basically, I want to express really, really all my gratitude to you, Shalu, for graciously sharing all your insights and experiences with me and with all of us.
Thank
Your
you.
unwavering dedication, like expertise, are truly, kind of this body of work that you've created. It's glowing, and you've cultivated this alongside your entire team. Uh, Through your efforts, you have addressed the pressing needs of parents and heightened awareness within corporate India, leaving a huge impact on a lot many lives. I'd like to, revisit these fine three or quite more in terms of quite a few more pivotal aspects that you emphasized. Firstly, the crucial importance of integrating special education into, all of the BEd programs that you shared, that this should be part of the curriculum within the education system, and fostering inclusivity right from the foundation levels. Secondly, the imperative need of government-backed right from insurance to training of educators, equipping them with necessary resources and skills to effectively cater to the diverse learning needs. That would be wonderful. You also moved on to the last portion where you said that this whole task of demystifying neurodiversity and nurturing socialization to foster a more understanding and inclusive society is what you would love in India. Extending support to parents to help them create enjoyable experiences, build stronger communities, while normalizing residential options to be more accessible and inclusive was absolutely, I mean, so relevant. I know because I am part of this, and it's a huge challenge trying to, set all of this up. Your ask for children about, not only what we are teaching them, but so relevantly you said about making them tech savvy. Why don't we do that? Is super. That's a beautiful ask. So thanks, Shalu. Your contributions are really thoroughly immeasurable. And I'm genuinely excited to witness the continued positive impact of your work. I'm confident that this interview will resonate deeply with parents, educators, and professionals alike, inspiring much more, in terms of collaborative efforts towards creating a real better world for our children and our adults. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot for your unwavering dedication and passion.
Thank you
Thank you
so much.
so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
You were listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer, the CEO of MFA and a trustee with the Forum for Autism. If you find this podcast relevant and interesting, it will be great if you leave a review, share, like, and subscribe. You can also let us know if there is any specific topic that you would like us to cover. Feel free to email her on chitra.iyer@myfinad.com, or you can call her on 9833 785 892. That is 9833 785 892.